Hello, my name is Malik Hill, and I will be analyzing aspects of your website, theparadise.ng. To start off, I will be going over the main points of this redesigned recommendation presentation. The first point to address will be creating a form for the site. This means to create structure in a flowing state that keeps the user moving and looking at information throughout the site. The second point is to add breathing room to elements on the site. To go with point one, this point helps create that flow that keeps the user moving and not becoming lost in information within the site. Point three is to add visual media to accompany text. Adding media to the text could draw attention to trending news articles or interest that the user would like to read about. To relate this to the second point, giving that break from text could allow a visual reset so that the user knows what they are reading or about to read. The last point is to have dedicated zones for ads. Later in the presentation, I will address ads specifically, but for right now, the point is about the positions that the ad sits on the page. Having dedicated zones for ads could keep the user focused on the site's contents and purpose. The next 6 slides will show aspects of your website. These aspects are separated by good qualities that are working on the site and areas of concern that could be addressed. The first aspect is the featured stories section. Having a featured stories section on a news site can be beneficial because it allows the user to easily discover and engage with popular or trending stories. It also helps with providing a wider range of articles for a wider audience. To complement the section, you could have a breaking news section, which could deliver real-time news as well. Overall, this trending news section is great. The next quality that is working well is the top navigation bar. This navigation bar provides different topics that a user could be interested in, and when clicked on, the page provides articles within that specific topic. The navigation bar also allows a user to search for specific topics with a bonus of changing the page to a dark mode setting. I would say there is nothing else needed for the nav bar because it is simple and easy for the user to understand. The third quality I will point out is the footer section of this site. This section provides all the necessary tabs that a user would need to have. All the social media contact buttons are there. An about button is provided to learn about the company. All of the rules and regulations are listed in the last 3 buttons, which are the privacy policy, terms, and DMCA buttons. And lastly, if the user wanted to inquire about posting an ad, it is provided. This footer section is good and simple, just like the top navigation bar. I would not make any changes to it. Now, to address some possible areas of concern on the site would be the number of ads. Going back to the fourth point I made earlier, the ads within your site are plentiful and do not seem to have dedicated zones for them. I personally refreshed the page to see where they would pop up, and I got them between articles at the beginning of the page, on the side of the page, at the bottom of the page, in which the bottom page one does not go away. And I also got a full screen pop-up ad that forced me to close out of it before I could continue. A picture of the full screen pop-up ad will be shown later on. This concern could lead to users becoming frustrated with the number of ads and choosing a different news site that doesn't provide as many ads. I recommend limiting the number of ads generated on a page and provide dedicated zones for them to create consistency. This is the full screen pop-up ad I got randomly while browsing your site. Another area of concern would be the breathing room between the articles. This concern goes with point 1, 2, and 3 from earlier because we want to create a flow that keeps the user moving along flawlessly. Having little to no breathing room between the text could be a problem when reading because there is little to no visual break between one article to another. I recommend utilizing the white space that is on the sides of the page to space out the articles, creating that breathing room. You could also add media to accompany the articles to help with separating the articles from others as well. Overall, we want to have some type of flowing to the user's eyes when reading articles so that they do not become lost along the way. I did want to see how the site looked on a mobile device and provided some pictures of my findings. A lot is like the desktop version, starting with the ads at the top and the bottom, which does not go away. One of my biggest concerns is that with the screen being smaller, the number of ads got to the point where my whole screen on the site was just ads. This has the potential of making users leave the site. I recommend the same point as before, which is to lower the number of ads on the page and just for the mobile view, keep the ads at the top and the bottom with the articles in the middle. This would create a structure for mobile users. To gather more information about the site, I did conduct a usability test which evaluates how a user would use your site. For the test, I gathered 3 individuals with different computer experience and of different age groups, ranging from 20 to 55. The test started off with me asking 4 questions based on the initial view of the homepage. After all the questions were asked and answered, I had the testers complete tasks that anybody who came to your site would do. Some of these tasks required them to find out information about the site, and some had them search the site for personalized purposes. Questions were asked while they performed the task as well. And finally, after the tasks were completed, I asked 4 concluding questions to gauge how they felt about using your site. The one question that got the most consistent answer was about what stuck out to them while they were browsing your site. The answer revolved around the number of ads and specific ads that they encountered. This goes back to the point I made about decreasing the number of ads generated on the page and having dedicated areas for them. Referencing your About page within your site, the main goal of the site is to provide original content to the user and create an easy to access website. I would say that your site achieves both goals, but there are certain factors on the site that have the potential to hinder those goals. To help uphold these goals, we can strengthen them by utilizing the white space around the articles to help give breathing room and addressing the ads as a whole. Creating dedicated zones for the ads could help a user stay focused on the purpose they came. Overall, the changes that I recommended for your site are quick and easy to implement. With them being implemented, I am sure the users of the site will appreciate your efforts at providing original content and creating an accessible site to all people.